Former President Trump is under fire from both sides of the aisle now after he hosted a dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Kanye West and an infamous Holocaust denier. Now Trump is responding. ABC News Chief Washington correspondent John Karl has more.
Even for Donald Trump, this was outrageous. He dined at Mar-a-Lago with Kanye West, who has been widely condemned for a recent string of blatantly anti-Semitic statements. And as if that were not enough, Kanye West brought along with him to the dinner a white supremacist named Nick Fuentes, somebody who has been banned by virtually every social media platform for hate speech. The dinner happened just before Thanksgiving and exactly 1 week after Donald Trump announced he is running for president again. The meeting has been widely condemned by the White House, by the Anti-Defamation League. Donald Trump's, the person who served as the ambassador to Israel under President Trump said, quote, "To my friend Donald Trump, you are better than this. Even a social visit from an anti-Semite like Kanye West and human scum like Nick Fuentes is unacceptable." As for Trump, he's put out a series of statements saying that it was Kanye West who asked to have dinner with him, that he did so because he wanted to get advice. And regarding the dinner itself, Trump said, quote, "We got along great. He expressed no anti-Semitism, and I appreciated all the nice things he said about me on Tucker Carlson. Why wouldn't I agree to meet? Also, I didn't know Nick Fuentes." So, although Donald Trump says he didn't know who Nick Fuentes was, certainly now he knows who he is, and there's been not a single word of condemnation of Nick Fuentes by Donald Trump since this controversy has erupted. Regarding Republicans, there's been very little said by Republican leaders. The chair of the Republican National Committee, Ronna McDaniel, put out a statement condemning neo-Nazis, condemning white supremacy and anti-Semitism, but making no specific reference to Donald Trump or to his dinner guests. Kira?
John Karl, thank you so much. And of course, we have to continue to talk about this with ABC News political director Rick Klein. Oh, Rick. Just when you think it can't get any more outrageous, Donald Trump does it again. Now you've got Republican reaction. Let's talk about this and what they thought about this meeting that Trump had with these known haters.
Yeah, most Republicans are trying not to think about it at all. John just covered a couple of the notable statements, but what the most interesting thing to me has been how many Republicans have gone basically mute on this point. They are not commenting. It reminds me of back in the day when Donald Trump would tweet something and you heard senators and congressmen in the hallways saying, "Oh, I didn't see the tweet. I don't know what that's about." They're clearly just trying to tune this out and hoping it would go away. The few senators who and congressmen who have weighed in have been saying generally that this is something that shouldn't have happened, that it's unfortunate at best and outrageous at worst. We've had some people that are considering runs for president that are doing at least veiled swipes back to say this is not the kind of conduct you want to see out of a president or a presidential candidate. But then again, you've got people like Senator Ted Cruz who are playing kind of a whataboutism game with Democrats, pointing out ties that some of them might have had in the past to white supremacists. So this is kind of reminiscent of the good old days when Republicans were hoping that the Trump scandal of the day would just go away.
And the good old days when Trump just claimed, "Oh, I didn't know." And that's what he's doing this time around, too, claiming that he didn't know anything about Fuentes. I mean, give me a break. So is this going to impact, do you think, his bid for the White House, his run, his campaigning? I mean, it's just amazing to sit back and watch what he can get by with and still be a player in a run for the most important job in the United States.
Yeah, Kira, I think we're beyond the point of even being surprised when he seems to skate by on these things. But I'll tell you where it does matter. It's not about something just disqualifying him. I don't think there's anything he could say or do at this point that would disqualify him in the minds of some of his supporters. But there are a lot of Republicans out there that are looking at other options. And I think it's become evident just in the 2 weeks, or actually 13 days since Donald Trump became the only major Republican declared candidate for president, that there will be other candidates running. He's not going to have the field to himself. A bunch of those candidates were gathered last weekend in Las Vegas, where the talk of the day is Governor Ron DeSantis and a whole range of other ambitious younger Republicans who are looking to make names for themselves. He's not going to have the field to himself. And between this and the legal woes that are enveloping his campaign, you have more and more Republicans who are saying, look, they want to move past this. They want a clean break. And this is a reminder, lest you think that Donald Trump has reinvented himself, that he's a new person, that, yeah, he goes back to these old habits.
All right, let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about the Georgia Senate runoff rematch between Herschel Walker and incumbent Raphael Warnock. We have been following this now for months. Democrats already control the Senate. So let's just talk about how important, Rick, this election is for both parties right now.
Well, the difference between 51 and 50 is actually a pretty big deal in the Senate. You get more spots on committees. You don't have tied committees. And you also have the opportunity to negotiate around an individual senator. We remember how many times, Kira, on this show we were talking about Senator Joe Manchin or Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Well, in a 51-49 Senate, you don't have to have both of them on board to move things along party lines. So that's a big deal. Plus, it's a 6-year Senate term. And the Senate map in 2024 is flatly brutal. It is very, very tough for the Democrats to see anywhere that they can potentially gain seats. They'd like to build in a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of wiggle room ahead of that next election. And I think there's a psychological impact in the icing, the cherry on top of the victories that they enjoyed a few weeks ago. If they're able to win in Georgia once again and ratify Georgia's move into very competitive status and having a third Senate race in the space of 2 years falling to the Democrats.
All right, ABC News political director Rick Klein. Rick, thanks so much.
Thanks, Kira.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.